This video is brought to you by scdkeys.com. You need store credit to buy your games anyway, so why not get it for a bit cheaper? They've got PlayStation Network $50 credit codes, and after you use our special code with GC3, you'll be getting that for just $46.64. Also, if you're looking to buy games on your Nintendo Switch, they've also got Nintendo eShop codes for $45.59 after you use the code GC3. They've also got fantastic deals on PC software such as Windows 10 and Office 2019. Check out the links in the description box below to get great deals on everything I just mentioned. Now onto the video. In today's video, we're going over a cryptic PlayStation Network message glitch that is going on right now, and it causes a soft reboot on your entire PS4, and I've heard some worst cases. I'll tell you guys a little bit about this bug, and I'll tell you guys how you can avoid it. A really weird bug going on right now, but it's pretty easy to completely avoid it. And also, Sony is looking to increase their communication with their fans. As we have seen, Sony is sometimes on and off with really reaching the pulse of gamers. For example, the crossplay thing was a big debacle. They finally implemented that. They're finally implementing PlayStation Network name changes, so it looks like they're getting better, and it looks like they are going to continue with that. Also, if you are a North American PlayStation Plus subscriber, check your email because you might have 3 months free of Netflix waiting for you. I know just about everyone is subscribed to Netflix regardless, but adding on an extra 3 months, why not? Also, Sega has released some sales numbers for a bunch of their famous franchises, including their in-house IPs as well as their IPs that they've acquired throughout the years. And lastly, Hitman 2 is getting a one-on-one competitive multiplayer mode called Ghost Mode, and I want to take a little bit of a look at that as Hitman 2 is becoming one of the more underrated games for the rest of the year. First, let's talk about this crazy PlayStation Network message glitch that is going on right now. As you guys probably know, the PSN messaging system isn't the best thing in the world, but it gets the job done, and I don't think we need anything crazy out of the messaging system. However, users on PlayStation Network are reporting that they're getting cryptic messages that could force them to soft reboot their entire PlayStation 4. Seemingly, this comes across as a random message from an unknown person, and it doesn't show any text. It seems to be a glitch. However, after you get this message, it causes the PlayStation 4 to crash. Thankfully, there's an easy way to remedy this, and I would recommend you guys to enable this as soon as possible. If you go into settings and then you go under account management and then privacy settings, then personal info, messaging, and then messages, you can set it from friends only to no one. I would recommend you to set it to friends only or no one if your PlayStation 4 profile is public. That's going to allow any random stranger to send you a message and you might get hit with the glitch. If you do get hit with the glitch, you reboot into recovery mode and you rebuild the database, and that should fix everything. However, I would rather for you guys to circumvent this entirely. Moving on from that, recently Sony has been a bit better in listening to what their consumers want, even though they are completely ahead in the console war, ahead of the Xbox One. I don't even like using the phrase console war as it comes across a little bit childish, but hey, that's what everyone labels it as. But yes, in this fictitious battle, the PlayStation 4 is far ahead of the Xbox One, and sometimes that does lend a company to put their foot off the gas. They don't have to listen to the consumer as much because, well, the consumer is already buying their product. But Sony has been getting better. They have implemented cross-platform play after everything with Fortnite went down and a lot of gamers backlashed at Sony. Name changes are now coming to the PlayStation Network. That's a feature I've been asking for what, 8 to 10 years now? Some of us have been stuck with absolutely ridiculous PlayStation Network IDs, and we're finally going to be able to change those soon. And Sony Worldwide Studios chairman Sean Layden says that the communication with fans is going to continue. He said this on PlayStation's blogcast, quote, "We're gonna crank that communication up. We're going to find more ways to get our message out and get a view into what our activities are and what our hopes and dreams are, if you will, for PlayStation and for Worldwide Studios." I think this is even doubly more paramount heading into next generation. I think Sony has heard all of the vocal complaints about backwards compatibility being absent from the PlayStation 4, and I think they are going to implement it into the PlayStation 5. I mean, if they do want to communicate with fans, I think just about every PlayStation gamer is saying that they want backwards compatibility. Maybe it'll be a little bit difficult to implement it with the PlayStation 4, especially with the PS3 style architecture, but with the PS5, there's really no excuse for it not to have backwards compatibility. So that's something interesting to keep an eye on, and that's why I always say, even if you're a PlayStation fan, always be critical, always come from a level playing field. Think like a consumer, think like what you actually want. Don't just take everything mindlessly, because if there wasn't that backlash for cross-platform play, if people didn't want PSN name changes, Sony would have never implemented these features, but because we're vocal about it, Sony has implemented these features, and that's great. So enough about that, moving on. If you are a North American PlayStation Plus subscriber, make sure to check your email right now because you might have access to 3 free months of Netflix. You can redeem your gift before November 30th, 2018. The message reads to thank you for being a loyal PlayStation Plus member. Here's a gift from us to watch unlimited shows and movies on Netflix. From the hottest new series to big blockbusters, stream it all on your PlayStation alongside your favorite games. Netflix members can redeem this gift too. Don't miss out. This is not the first time Sony has offered something like this. They've partnered with Netflix before. They've sent out $10 PSN wallet codes to loyal PlayStation Plus subscribers. It seems like only some people get it and then some people don't, and then obviously some people complain that they don't get it. And yeah, I wish just everybody would get these freebies, but hey, nice of PlayStation and Sony to give out something to those of us that have been subscribed to Plus for so long. So check your email and see if you can take advantage of that. And moving on from that, Sega has recently published its report for 2018, and it reveals the lifetime sales figures of a lot of franchises, including Sonic the Hedgehog, which first made an appearance all the way back in 1991. You can imagine its numbers are pretty high at 800 million units. Remember, that's across a slew of different games on different platforms, so yes, while that sounds very, very impressive on the surface, and it is, remember that it's been almost 30 years since Sonic the Hedgehog originally released, so it's not as impressive when you look at it like that, but still 800 million units is a lot. Puyo Puyo is at 27 million units. More interestingly, Yakuza is at 11 million units. Of course, I have to give Yakuza a plug. The Aladdin series is at 570,000, Beast King's at 490,000, Phantasy Star is at 5 million, and the Chain Chronicles series is at 15 million. Some of their acquired IPs include Megami Tensei, which is at 12.4 million, Persona, which is at 9.3 million, Etrian Odyssey, which is at 1.9 million, Total War, which is at 22 million, and Football Manager, which is at 18.1 million. President and CEO Kenji Matsubara also added, quote, "In the past, the Japanese market has generated the bulk of sales for these series, and although it has elements that are appealing to overseas, however, the game was not developed with European and US markets in mind. Thanks to painstaking efforts to create a game that Japanese fans will appreciate, the title has become popular not only in Japan but also won over fans overseas who praise the refined game sense of the title. I believe this is why Yakuza 6 The Song of Life has become such a popular hit around the world." Outside of Yakuza 6, Persona 5 was also credited for having Western success, so that's great to see. And now we do know the next game, Project Judge, will be hitting stateside. I'm sure any future Persona titles will also be coming stateside rather quickly, so that is great news all around. And lastly, I know for the rest of the year, a lot of you guys are looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe Fallout 76, maybe Battlefield 5. Remember that Hitman is getting another new game with Hitman 2, and Hitman 2 will be getting a one-on-one online competitive game mode called Ghost Mode. Here's the description of the new mode directly from Warner Brothers. Agent 47 is the world's deadliest assassin, and only one person who can match him in skill, stealth, and execution is himself. Therefore, Ghost Mode allows two players to compete against each other online, both as Agent 47, to assassinate the most targets in a match. At the start of each round, both players begin side by side and must race to take out the same targets faster and cleaner than their opponent, all the while utilizing weapons, items, outfits, and Ghost Crate supply drops along the way to help accomplish the overall mission. The unique twist with Ghost Mode in Hitman 2 is that players will simultaneously hunt targets while in the same location and can see a ghost version of their rival player to track progress against their own. But they exist in separate realities unaffected by the actions of their adversary. In Ghost Mode, the player who can outsmart, outplay, and outkill their opponent by eliminating 5 targets first will declare victory. So with Ghost Mode, I imagine that Hitman 2 is going to get an added level of replayability, which is good to see. Do note that while Hitman 2 is being released as an entire experience, unlike Hitman 1, remember that Hitman 1 was released episodically, Hitman 2 will see some single player expansions as well, so that's something to note. Hitman 2 is dropping on November 13th.
Starting time, same starting targets. In Ghost Mode, the first player with 5 eliminations is the winner. Targets are randomly selected every time, so no duel will be the same. Since you start off with no equipment, you'll need to improvise. Find ghost crates and grab disguises as you go. If your opponent scores a kill, you'll have limited time to react. Will you risk blowing your cover? Be careful. A spotted kill does not count. In Ghost Mode, you exist in separate realities, so a messy, chaotic approach on your end does not affect your opponent. Quite the contrary. While you're busy cleaning up or running for your life, your opponent is free to advance like a ghost. Be cunning, be creative, be ruthless. Good luck.
And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, a cryptic PlayStation Network message glitch is going on right now. Very easy to solve it. Just set your account to be seen by friends only or no one, and you will be good to go. Sony is looking to increase communication with their fans. North American PlayStation Plus subscribers are getting 3 free months of Netflix. Check your email and see if you got one. Sega franchises are doing very well, namely Persona and the Yakuza franchise. And Hitman 2 will be getting an online competitive mode known as Ghost Mode. It's a one-on-one game mode, and it looks pretty interesting. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.